Hi there, Stacy Kildall with Stacy K Academy. I want to thank you for registering for running your practice for under $150. To give a little bit of background about this, a few years ago I went to a conference that the Lean Startup people presented. And this conference, my biggest takeaway was listening to the CEO of a local tech company, because the conference was out in San Francisco, who at the time they were doing, according to him, about $10 million a year in revenue. And he said that he had searched and searched and searched for a better way to manage their projects, because what they'd been using before was a text document, either a notepad or Word doc. I can't remember what it was. But basically, he had searched and searched and couldn't find a project management tool that was effective and easy to use as just using a text document. And I thought, well, if this guy who's doing $10 million a year in sales and running this giant tech company is just using a text document, well, I don't really think I need a CRM or a project management tool. So one of the things that we at Kildall Services, and we're a small firm. There is myself, Shannon, my partner, and our admin, Katie. So there's basically 2.5 of us. We run, even though we don't really need to, we choose to run the practice it kind of on the easiest, simple, the most basic tools that we can in order to keep under budget, but also to make it easy to bring people on board when we do decide to hire. One of the reasons I decided to do this webinar was because I get asked this a lot. A lot of new pro advisors, a lot of smaller firms, or even just solopreneurs, pro advisors or accounting professionals who are out on their own. They're feeling a little bit of pressure. And so what they're hearing is you have to have a workflow management app. You have to have a customer relationship manager, a CRM. You need a scheduling app. And don't forget, you also have to manage your social media. Oh, and by the way, all of this is going to cost you $400 a month. Keep in mind, many new pro advisors or many new accounting professionals or consulting professionals who are starting out, they don't really even have that in their budget. So I came up with this webinar, one, to promote Stacy K Academy, because a lot of the stuff some of the stuff we're going to be talking about for the next few minutes here is what we teach in Stacy K Academy, but also to give people options. I'm not saying that Microsoft 365 is not a good tool. I'm not saying that Carbon Workflow or Jetpack or Arrow Workflow are not good tools. They're all really amazing tools. I'm just giving people what we do and how we run things and on a budget. I'm just giving them options on how to do this on a shoestring budget and how we continue to do it. I've had Kildall Services, we've been around for 15 years. I've been doing bookkeeping for 15 years. Kildall Services was formed at the end of 2004, 2005, but I was doing books as a contractor for a few years before that. So over the years, I've looked at apps. I love using different apps. I love checking them out. I love finding the tool that best fits the company that needs it. So these are just options that I'm giving you. I'm not saying these are better options than any of the other ones that are out there. What I'm doing is telling you, here's a way that you can run your practice for under $150 an hour. Now, one thing I do want to mention, and I went a little bit ahead there, the apps that I'm talking about are not the apps. If you're an accounting professional, these are not the tools to do the client work. This isn't QBO. This isn't HubDoc, ReceiptBank, Bill.com, Invoice Sherpa. These are the tools, some basic tools that you as a pro advisor, as an accounting professional, as a bookkeeper, whatever, can use to run your business, your small practice. This webinar, the things that I'm going to talk about and the pricing that I'm going to give you at the end is specific to a 3-person firm. So here we go. We have 5 categories of apps that I'm going to talk about. We have communication, task flow, task or workflow management, project management, whatever you'd like to call it, CRM, which is customer relationship management, as well as client scheduling. I think those kind of go hand in hand, at least in my little brain they do. I'm going to give you some other options one other option as far as document storage. And one of the things that is really important for us is getting signatures for our engagement letters, providing signatures if people if we need to. And that's one of the key components, one of the things that we as a practice can't, we have to have that. So I included our option, the tool that we use for that. And then just some simple marketing. So I'm going to give you two apps for each one of these. And again, these are pretty much all the tools except for one, and I'll tell you which one that is, that we use at Kildall Services to manage our practice. The first one is communication. Our first category is communication, and we use Slack. Back in 2014, 2015, Shannon and I, we realized that there was stuff that was falling through the cracks. We were having conversations via email. We were having conversations via text message, Google Chat. And so what was happening is we couldn't remember where the conversation happened, whether or not it was a conversation between her and I, or the client, or all of us. So we figured we had to come up with a better solution. And so what we decided to do, and I know that people use Slack differently, and that's totally cool. We decided to move all of our internal communications to Slack. We only discuss client-related things in Slack. So we don't invite our clients to participate. If you do, that's totally cool. I dig it. But that's just not how we work. So we ended up reducing in less than a year our email by 70%. So if we use email strictly to get information to and from our clients, and then we have a conversation about what's happening, and we have all of our internal communication through Slack. So that's the first tool, and you can get it for free. So just FYI. The next one is Zoom. After trying many remote meeting solutions and screen share options, we landed on Zoom. So I think everybody kind of loves Zoom right now. I'm using it for this webinar. We really found that using Zoom is much easier. You can have auto record set so it automatically records. There's a lot, I mean, you can see here, there are a lot of features that it has. I really recommend using the paid version, although you can use the free. But I recommend spending a little bit of money and getting the paid version of it, because then you're not limited to the 40-minute session. So if you have a training session, or you have a longer appointment, or if you have a distributed team and you want to do a happy hour, that's a great solution too. Usually 40 minutes is not going to cut it for most of the meetings that we do. So we use Zoom for our communications, not only with our clients or our prospective clients, but also internally as well. For our task flow and our task monitoring, our task workflow management, we use Google Sheets. I use G Suite, and I use the Pro version, which is $10 per person per month. But there's a G Suite basic, that's $5. I use the $10 because I want the unlimited storage, because that's just me. I'm an email and a file pack rat, so I have everything going back from my old Gmail account from a million years ago. But for $5 a month per person, we use Google Drive. We keep all of our company templates in Google Drive. All of our blank documents, all of our unsigned documents are in Google Drive, although I wouldn't have any problem storing them in Google Drive. It's just easier for me to use our signature tool to do that. So we use Google Sheets because we're using G Suite for our email, for our calendar, for our documents, for our storage. We use Google Sheets to track our workflow. We call it a client workload status form. And it's one of the tools that you get if you sign up for Stacey K Academy. And what we do is we can assign tasks. You can see in the screenshot that I have here on the slide that I can assign a specific task. I can put in the task, and you can see here, this is payroll. And we're saying, okay, so this payroll on March 3rd needs to be done, and I'm going to assign it to Stacey. So you can assign different tasks in Google Sheets and using comments. So we find this to be really simple, yet really effective, and it's very easy to keep on track of it. With Google Sheets, you can set up notifications, so you can be notified when a change happens immediately, or you can get a daily email. So it's a really great, easy tool and totally secure for what we need. We don't do tax planning, we don't do tax services, we're not a CPA firm, we're bookkeepers. So Google Drive and Google Sheets works really great for us. I know somebody had asked, how do we get our financials to our clients? Because we're using QuickBooks Online, we don't have to worry about, password protecting or security of financial statements or tax returns. because we're not doing the tax returns, and as far as reporting goes, they get automatically sent out of QuickBooks Online. So we use Google Sheet for our task and our workflow management. Another really brand new tool that the more I see it and the more I use it, I'm really loving it. I'm not ready to jump for my Google Sheets yet, but is the QuickBooks Online Accountant, or QBOA Practice Manager. You can create projects directly from QuickBooks Online, so it'll pull in and say, hey, you have a bunch of transactions in your bank feed that need to be managed, or payroll. If they're using QuickBooks Online Payroll, it'll pull that in as well. You can also create projects and tasks manually. We can duplicate projects and tasks. We can also assign these tasks and projects to our other QBOA team members. This is a great solution. So if you're already using QuickBooks Online Accountant, this is free. You get it. You don't have to pay for it. And it's a really nice little tool. The more I see it, the more I like it. And Scaling New Heights, it's June 15th, 2017. And last week at Scaling New Heights, Rich Priest and the Intuit people were saying that there's lots more coming. This is just the tip of the iceberg. They already know that everybody wants recurring tasks and projects. So right now we can duplicate them, and hopefully soon we'll be able to create recurring ones. Now, I don't have a customer relationship management app. I use something called Boomerang for Gmail. And for those of you who know me and who have seen me speak or talk, know that I sing the praises of Boomerang for Gmail, and it's because it's such a great tool. I can schedule emails to go out at a later date. So if I am, maybe running out to get my kids, or I know I'm going to be gone when the client is normally going to get it, maybe I want to send it later, maybe I'm done with something, but I know my client is not going to read it between 3 and 5 p.m. I know it's a better option to send it in the morning when they're more likely to read it. I can schedule that email to go out at a later date. Because I'm using G Suite, I'm using Gmail, and it doesn't give me a read receipt, but with Boomerang for Gmail, I can get that read receipt with the pro version, the paid version that I have. And what I really love is that I can use it to set recurring email reminders. So I just set one up. I love the Bloom County comic strip. I have since I was a kid, and I always forget to check it out. So I just set up a recurring email with a link to the Bloom County Facebook page so that it comes to me 3 times a week, so I remember. So it's 6:03 in the morning, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to get an email from myself reminding me to go check out Bloom County on Facebook. But you can also set up other kinds of reminders. I use them for Stacey K Academy. It's a 6-week course, and we have webinars every Thursday and office hours every Friday. So those of you who have been through Academy or who are about to go through Academy, because we start the next session July 20th, in just a few weeks, those reminder emails that I send out a couple times a week, those are all sent through Boomerang for Gmail. But my favorite part about this is that if I have a prospect, or if I'm even dealing with a client, and this is where this client relationship or this customer relationship management comes in, I can send an email, and then if I'm asking for something or I'm waiting for some information, I can tell Boomerang to bring it back to my inbox whenever I want, 2 days, 4 days, 1 week, 3 hours, whatever it is, to remind me to follow up. So it's a really wonderful tool. Scheduling. I used to use a $50 a month online scheduling tool, but what I found was I kind of never know what my schedule is going to be like. And if I don't put in my travel dates correctly, or maybe I have a sick kid and I don't edit what's available, if people can go online and schedule something automatically with me, what I was finding is that more times than not, I was having to go in and manually schedule something anyway. So after about a year or so, I finally canceled it and really had nothing to do any automatic scheduling until I found Boomerang Calendar. So it's from the same people who make Boomerang for Gmail, only this is free. Right now, there's no cost at this point. You can schedule emails, you can highlight any dates and times, you can let people know your availability, you can share that availability, and what's really a wonderful thing is it's a cool tool to schedule a group meeting. So if you're trying to set up a conference call or any other kind of meeting with more than 2 people, you can say, okay, what about these times? And they can say yes, no, maybe. And then you get the email saying, it'll show in the email saying, hey, this is what everybody has available, and you can schedule that group meeting through Boomerang for Gmail. And what's great is you can see here it says click to confirm or busy. This person who's getting this email is going to say, oh, I can see this person, doesn't have, Stacy's busy at 10 o'clock. Well, 12 o'clock won't work for me, so maybe I'll ask her if I can do 2 p.m. So you can kind of really show that availability that you have, and it's really flexible tool. So I like that for my client scheduling. A lot of times, because I do a lot of training, I hear accounting professionals, they don't feel or they don't think that that QuickBooks Online is, or not QuickBooks Online, but that Google Drive is as secure as they want it to be. So I use Google Drive. I've never had it. I've used it since it came out. I have never had any issues with security. But to give another option, just to give one more option as far as storage, you can use Box.com. It is with Google Drive. It's not out of the box HIPAA compliant if you need that, but you can sign what's called a business agreement, business associates agreement to get it HIPAA compliant. But something with Box.com, it already is, so you don't have to worry about it. This integrates with Slack just like Google Drive does. It's just another option that I wanted to give people as far as any kind of online storage. You can edit documents directly in it. It has a desktop app that you can sync to, so it's just another option. I know some people have asked, what about SmartVault or Dropbox? Those are also other options. I just prefer the interface of Box.com. I think and I think Box.com is really geared a little bit, in my opinion, more towards business owners, where like Dropbox is really geared more towards kind of a casual user. I use that to store pictures, really. Or to exchange files. If I don't have a very tech-savvy client, I may, they may be comfortable with it, so I'm really kind of open to using whatever I need to. The other thing is SmartVault. I love SmartVault, and I think it is an amazing tool. The problem is the file system is very rigid. So there's that issue, but it's really insanely secure, and so it's another choice. I just didn't want to include it here. Again, the whole point of this webinar is really a budget, shoestring budget. So that's where I kind of was focusing on, and Box.com is a really inexpensive option. Managing signatures. We do engagement letters for everything that we do with our clients, so it was really important for us to have a secure, because we're using those to get payment authorizations as well as signatures. So we wanted to make sure that we had something very secure, but was also very affordable. I have been using EchoSign forever, and it is now called Adobe Sign. Again, it used to be called years ago EchoSign, and again, it's very secure. It integrates with Box.com or G Drive, Google Drive, so I can pull in, I can say, hey, connect to my Google Drive. I want to take this document that's in Google Drive and send it out for signature. I also have a library that I use for some standard things like a W-9 form or a payment authorization form. That always is the same no matter what we're doing, because our payment authorization says per engagement letter. So you can create this library that's already uploaded of blank documents and leave it in your Adobe Sign. And it's a really great tool as well. You can have it remind people to sign documents. If you haven't, you can password protect the documents that you're sending as well. So I like Adobe Sign. That's what we use. We use, many of you may have found this webinar through our email that we sent out. We use MailChimp to do all of our email campaigns. I found this a million years ago when we started QBO Show. Back then it was called Radio Free QuickBooks. It's really easy to share the emails that you get. So if I get an email marketing from someone and I want to share it on social, like, oh, this looks like a really cool thing, I can very easily share it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Recently, it works with doing Facebook ads and location targeting for Facebook ads, as well as doing Instagram ad campaigns, which is really nice. You can do customized sign-up forms. I have one on my website. I have one on my Facebook page. The templates are really easy to use, and you can see how many people have opened the emails, and as well as how many people have clicked in the emails. The last tool that I want to talk to you about is Hootsuite. We use this, my admin Katie and I use this to manage all of our social media channels. You can see here, it might be a little hard, but you can see I have all of the different channels set up here. Stacey K Academy, Apposaurus Rex, my personal. I can even include my MailChimp account and connect that. So you can manage multiple channels. What I really like is I can schedule posts. So some of those generic kind of posts, like don't forget about the QBO show, or hey, I'm doing some training for Intuit. And then as well as some analytics and reporting. I think it's a really great, to me, it's a very clean, very easy interface as well. Again, there are other options. This is just the ones that we're using, and that's what I've been asked to share, right? So we need to go back and talk a little bit about pricing. So all of the pricing for everything that I've showed you. Zoom, generally you have one user. For the basic one user, not free, but just the next step up, it's $15 a month. And so for us, Shannon and I, we have, if Shannon needs to schedule a Zoom meeting, she can log in. I don't mind because she's my partner, but you may need other users. If you don't, Zoom, $15 a month. Slack offers a free version. After years, a couple years, I just 3 days ago upgraded to the paid because we're getting a lot more clients, and the free version only allows you to look at the last 10,000 messages. And again, I am a message and an email pack rat, and I want to make sure I had unlimited. But for years, we used the free version, and it's totally fine. I don't need the paid version right now. I just am panicking that I'm going to get past 10,000 and I won't be able to search for something. QBO Practice Management, the workflow, the task management. QBO Practice Management, it's free if you're using QBOA, and it's getting better and better and better. And it just came out, which is really great that it's already better than it was 2 weeks ago when it launched. Google Sheets. The pricing here is based on using G Suite Basic, which is $5 per month per user, which is where I got the $15 total. Most people who have a 3-person firm, this is plenty of storage for them. This client scheduling as well as CRM, we're looking at $30. Boomerang for Gmail has a team subscription that you can have, and so for 3 users, it's $30 per month. Boomerang Calendar is free right now. So there's no team. So everybody who's in your firm would have to install the Chrome extension. And Boomerang for Gmail and Boomerang Calendar, those are just Chrome extensions that you just install, so in your browser. Adobe Sign. 1 user, $25 a month. I've never looked into adding any other users because in our firm, I'm the point person who sends out the engagement letter, so I'm the only one who needs to have access to that. Box.com, about $15 a month for a paid version. Again, I don't really use Box.com. This is just kind of the lowest paid version I can find. And I wanted to include it for those of you who are concerned, might feel that maybe Google Drive is not doesn't have the security that you're looking for. MailChimp and Hootsuite, $10, $19. MailChimp you can use for free for a really long time too, but if you bump up to that lowest paid subscription rate, you can send out unlimited emails, and you can have, I think, up to 2,000 people on your list. Hootsuite, $19 a month, worth every penny. I just want to say, worth every penny. I just love it. And so everything we've talked about, your total monthly cost, it's not just under $150, it's under $130. So everything that I talked about just now, $129, $129 a month for you to run your practice. And again, this is based on 3 people. And again, I just want to reiterate, there are other options. I'm not saying this is better than another. These are just the tools that we use, and I keep getting the questions and I wanted to share them with all of you. Now, if you need a little bit more help, I want to thank you guys for registering for the webinar, and for those of you who just happened to stumble upon us on YouTube. Stacey K Academy, we have on-demand courses that you can find if you go to staceykacademy.com, but a few times a year we do the live 6-week course. And the live 6-week course starts July 20th, 2017. Registration is open right now. It is June 15th. And if you go register, what the live course gets you that the on-demand doesn't is live webinars. We limit the class to 20 people. And the reason why we do that is because when we do the webinars, we do the meetings every Thursday. We want to make sure that everybody can join in via video and everybody can talk. So we don't make you do just, you know, type in your questions. It's really a community. It's really interactive. And then every Friday we do a half-hour office hours, and kind of the subject is, it may be follow-up from the webinar the week before, it may be something completely different, something that someone is having going on in their practice or needs help with. So every Thursday for an hour from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. Eastern, we do webinars, and then Fridays for a half hour we do the office hours. Starts July 30th. You also get access to a private Facebook group, which has, and you will have access to that forever. The only people that are ever allowed in that Facebook group are my Stacey K Academy attendees. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you at Stacey K Academy in a couple weeks.